Yo, what's up, everybody? Lobo here with DanMalore at the same place at the same time. We just saw Indiana Jones 5. Was it Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
Dial of Destiny.
Over the last week, I've been hearing a lot of people complaining, and a lot of if Kathleen Kennedy, well, let's just put it this way: Kathleen Kennedy's keeping her job for now because this movie doesn't suck.
I'm very happy to say that I enjoyed myself watching this.
Yeah.
Going in with really no expectations other than I want to see a good Indiana Jones film, and I think they delivered.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It was everything that I was hoping the Crystal Skull would be, we got this time around.
Yeah.
I
would say so. I liked it better than Crystal Skull.
Oh, for sure.
That I said.
For sure. Yeah, that was
less
his first
cartoony.
one. Yeah.
So that's an improvement for sure.
Yeah, I mean there were a couple silly joke kind of moments, but they weren't out of place. They seemed natural.
The corny indie serial type jokes.
Yeah.
We're
trying to do this as spoiler free as possible, by the way.
They toned it down. Okay, we're not going to talk specific spoilers.
Yeah.
What about I was going to say that there was one part, with that traditional travel montage thing.
Yes.
I thought we were going to miss that, but
are you talking about the maps and the planes thing? Yes.
Can I mention
some
that?
Spoilers. Yes. Yeah. Just no plot points.
I mean that you should expect that. When they travel at one point, I didn't see it, and I thought, oh no, they're not going to do it. Why wouldn't they do it? And they do. So
yeah,
that was great to see. That
I was. I mean, you know what? I know I said no spoilers, but there's going to be there's been a lot of spoiler stuff flowing around, obviously, because I thought, from what I heard, it wasn't going to be that great of a movie. So I'm sure anybody watching this has heard some things about it. So we'll try to be as vague as possible.
Well, for example, I knew that Indy was going to be young.
Right, yeah. So
they said that from the beginning.
So this is sort of a spoiler. The movie starts in the 1940s near the end of the World War II, and I was so pleased with this sequence. Mm-hmm. I could watch a whole movie if they just have CGI Indy like that.
Yeah, and that may be that may be the future of Indiana Jones. I don't know. In CGI, we'll see.
Because Harrison Ford did say that he is Indiana Jones. The franchise dies with him, but he did sign his likenesses off to Lucasfilm.
Got it. Could they use it for any project, not just Star Wars?
I don't know. So I don't know if it's just a Han Solo thing, or if it's just what it is. Maybe it's just President Ross for the Marvel stuff. I don't know. I can imagine it's for everything, which kind of sucks because that means there's going to be an actor who doesn't get to play this role. But personally, I don't want another actor playing this.
They could just make it its own thing.
I mean, if they could get Alden Ehrenreich, the guy from the Solo movie, to just be like, okay, Disney, I'll be your actor, and you can impose Harrison Ford's face on me, I'd be super stoked.
I mean, if they'll have him back, or if he'll come back, because that'd be interesting. I just want to say, John Williams makes everything twice or three times as good just on music alone. It's good to see a movie with John Williams' score.
Oh yeah,
and it just heightens it.
Yeah.
It heightens it for me.
He knows when to put what sound to amplify the moment.
That's his gift.
Yeah,
it's always been that way. But to hear him doing his thing in an indie film, it's just like, this is great. There was several times throughout the movie I'm like, oh, I'm so glad he's doing the score for this. Like, it just fits.
Yeah,
he did a great job. And I couldn't imagine anybody else. And someday there will be no John Williams to do this, so we have to have him one more adventure. It was
right. Yeah.
The CGI looked good. We're a few years out from Rogue One now.
Right.
So they have the de-aging stuff.
Right. The deep fake euthanasia. I mean,
euthanasia. I guess de-aging is different from full CGI, which Tarkin was. So.
Oh, they didn't just do that over a stand-in actor.
Indiana Jones.
Any of the CGI stuff from the previous Star Wars movies. I'm just thinking.
You mean Tarkin? Tarkin was an actor.
Tarkin was an actor. They superimposed.
Yes.
Peter Cushing's face.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is Indiana Jones with his face being de-aged, right? I assumed it was.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Action. Obviously, he's not doing the action scenes.
I'm guessing they did the same thing to Harrison Ford as they did for Sam Jackson in the Captain Marvel movie, and now also this last week. I don't know if you've been watching Secret Invasion, but that's that they're using similar tech. I mean, it's all Disney, right? So Disney's hitting stuff out of the park, and Warner Brothers not quite so much.
Yeah, they did it well enough where I forgot that he wasn't.
Yeah, no, it felt like something from when we were kids, basically.
Mm-hmm. More importantly for me, actually, they could have messed up a little bit on the face. It's the sound. He has to sound right, and they nailed the sound too.
Right.
He doesn't sound like
Yeah,
grumpy
he does.
Indiana Jones. He sounded like period, which is like that's an achievement in itself, man. Skywalker sound.
Yeah.
Great job on, because you have to pitch him up a little bit. You have to the speed, the way he talks, because Harrison Ford doesn't talk as fast as he used to.
No, that's definitely true,
and that's normal, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they made him sound like he did, in the '80s flicks. So
right.
Bravo on that. I know there was a lot of hesitation. People didn't want Phoebe Waller.
Waller-Bridge, yeah.
And I was concerned too. I don't know her. I only know her from the robot in
L337 from
the droid.
Also from a de-aged Harrison Ford originated character.
Yeah, interesting.
But
she pulled it off. I thought she was charming and funny, and it wasn't snarky. Everybody, a lot of things I'd say online is that she's snarky, whatever. I didn't get that.
She's a little sarcastic at times.
Yeah, she's being coy.
But that's out of the female leads that have been in the Indiana Jones movies, she's second to Marion. Willie Scott.
and I'd be the first to say, if she didn't work, oh man, she's blowing it. I don't care about her or whatever. I actually cared about Hi Kate.
Yeah.
At least we know the sound's working.
Hey, cool. Our sound is good. I'm hoping.
Yeah, he's on audio. Anyways.
But yes, you should definitely go see it. I will go see it again if you want to go.
Phoebe Waller did a good job. I don't know her from a lot of films, but I actually cared, and she had charisma, and she didn't seem out of place. She's like a weakling trying to throw punches or whatever. She seemed like she did some training or kickboxing or something.
Yeah.
I bought that.
Yeah, she's got a pretty good knockout punch.
Again, we're not getting into spoilers, but the supporting character was good too. They were believable.
The youngster?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can mention him. He's in the cast. So.
Yeah. I didn't catch the actor's name, but the character's name is Teddy. He's basically Short Round 2.0, and he nailed it. He's believable. He's smart. He's
without
quick.
being super annoying. Yeah, that was it's so easy to go super corny and forget this movie. And they got me for the whole time. I didn't feel like, I want to get out of here at any point.
No. I ran out of, I got a large popcorn at the start of the movie. I was out of popcorn about halfway through, and I wasn't about to go get my free refill because it was too entertaining to
Well, I didn't want to miss something that was
Plus,
important.
I had no idea before I bought the tickets the other day. Antonio Banderas has got a bit part in this movie, so that was a nice surprise. I had no idea. I didn't recognize him in any of the ads, or if they even showed him in.
No,
any of the
I wasn't expecting him.
So
he came in at a cool time and believable. It wasn't like this is they didn't play him up. He seems like a believable character.
It was kind of like when Tem showed up in the beginning of Aquaman as Arthur's dad. It's just, oh wait, hey, it's and it's someone who's got some acting chops and clout that you weren't expecting to show up, and we got Antonio Banderas. Too bad he didn't pull out any Zorro moves, but whatever.
He was great. All the cast. Mads Mikkelsen, I guess I can mention that. Was in it?
Yes.
He's also from Rogue One, and he plays a good baddie in this movie. And when he showed up on screen, it took me a couple times, like, oh, homeboy from Rogue One, and he's playing a bad guy, and he was believable too. He plays a mean Nazi. Can I say that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just did. So
yeah, in a bad way.
But yeah, no, I mean,
character.
They're the bad guys. We're not promoting it. We're saying they're the bad guys.
It just works for an indie film, you know, to have those guys be the baddies. They're in most of the previous ones.
Yeah,
I mean, that 4 had Russians, but
but it's.
I guess it wasn't in the Temple of Doom either.
No, Temple of Doom, that was the Thuggee, but that was
1 and 3.
But yeah, but
so
Temple of Doom took place right before World War II, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a prequel.
Right. So, and then
but they were around at that point. Anyways,
it was I'm blown away to see that it was it was good.
Most importantly is that my faith in Lucasfilm is restored. As far as people were saying online that this is the end of Lucasfilm. Now we don't know the box office on this film.
No.
I'm going to tell my brother to see it to help it.
Right. Yeah.
And not just out of obligation. I actually enjoyed it. I think you should see it. I would recommend this to people. If you want to enjoy yourself, eat popcorn, go see a movie.
Yeah. And it's it's even a good starter for people. If you've never seen an Indiana Jones movie, you don't need to know anything about Indiana Jones to enjoy this movie.
No.
It's a great, totally self-contained story. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's references to things that happened in the past, but there's no, you don't need to know intricacies like you would if this was a Star Wars movie or a Marvel movie. It's a great jumping off point.
I mean, they have to introduce.
So if you're a parent and you want to introduce your kids to Indiana Jones, this is a great movie.
Yeah, I would say it's a good summer flick. They came out at the right time. This is when you would expect a movie like this. How long was this delayed? This film?
I think it was like a year or two. I'm not sure. So let's see. What is Kate saying now?
It was definitely shot during the pandemic.
I haven't seen the last one before this one. Can't remember what it's called. I'd like to rewatch them all before seeing one just because. So the last one before this was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and it unfortunately had the actor named Shia LaBeouf in it, and he, after that movie proved himself to be a very problematic individual. So
I thought he did fine in the movie. There were some of the kind of cartooniness of the previous one.
Yeah.
They managed to avoid that in this one. This is more back to basic action. I mentioned to Lobo that my brother's been watching the series. He's also been watching the Young Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
And there was that vibe a little bit came through in this one too.
Right.
So I like that. It fits better into the franchise than Kingdom Crystal Skull did.
Yeah, and it stayed with the it's a historical relic. They actually make also the beginning of it is a different historical relic, and then it transitions into the Dial of Destiny.
Good set piece and action.
I think there's 4 or 5 car chases in this one, and some airplane action, a giant battle that was just unexpected, and
there was a couple
looked really cool. I'm sure a lot of that battle near the end of the movie that had to be mostly CGI. I mean, there's no way that they were filming,
it was definitely
all
CGI.
that stuff.
It was definitely CGI. But I like that it kept me. It was not predictable enough where I'm checked out already. I want to see what happens next. How long was this movie?
Oh man, it was.
I can look up the exact time
it was a little over 2.5 hours, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty long.
It didn't feel that
way,
it didn't. So that's
really
a good sign too. If I would have said less, so that's a good sign.
I could be wrong, but it was.
I'm gonna pull up the time.
It was just.
2 hours 22 minutes.
Oh, it's okay. A little under 2.5. So sorry.
But for me, it felt like the normal like 2 hours, so I
Yeah.
didn't feel that extra 22 minutes.
It
It's a
didn't.
good sign.
Yeah, it didn't.
It's a really good sign.
There was one guy who fell asleep.
Yeah, he's probably a narcoleptic because the sound was so loud, it was good sound.
Yeah.
You heard the whip and everything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really spoilers because it's an indie film. You're going to see the whip multiple times.
Right.
Him doing
But
shenanigans.
you know
with
what? There wasn't any swinging on the whip. Sorry, that might be a spoiler. But there
I
was.
think he pulled something multiple times. With
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, it was used in most of its traditional ways.
Yeah,
but
it's
there
not
wasn't
always. He doesn't
the-
always swing with it necessarily, but it's like a multi-tool.
Right.
He gets stuff with it.
Yeah.
Stuff done with it.
It's his go-go gadget.
They had that. They had the map thing. They had the motif. John Williams in there doing his business. So, it's like the band got back together. They brought the magic. I bought in.
Yeah.
Instead of checking out, which was like my fear that was going to happen. Like, oh man, I'm going to have to sit here for another hour and a half of this Crystal Skull reboot or something.
Yeah,
And
no,
it was
this
not.
this
It was closer to the original films.
Yes.
the
This
80
felt
films.
this felt more along the lines of Raiders or Last Crusade, with a little bit of throwbacks to Temple of Doom at times, but
Yeah.
it was mostly it
mentions of
it
without
was-
getting into detail.
well, there was that one the corridor with
Uh-huh.
the get it, I don't want to say
I might have missed some details in there, but
Creepy
they pulled
crawlers.
it off. Yeah, they did it enough. I mean, those are always going to be there. There's going to be some kind of There's going to be
Yeah.
some kind of things to freak out the heroes.
Yeah.
But they
So-
managed to do it. I'm truly happy for Lucasfilm.
Yes.
Because I was telling Lobo at the beginning to see the logo. We haven't seen it for a few
Oh yeah,
years now.
seeing the Lucasfilm logo on the big screen
It's a thing.
is always a treat, and
You
know.
realize seeing it, oh, I missed this, and we're not going to
So-
get another time for this for another 3-4 years.
right, yeah. I didn't know with the the last time we got Indiana Jones movie, Lucasfilm was still an independent an independent company. So the publishing house was Paramount. So this was a Disney Paramount collab, which I didn't know if Paramount was going to get
Yeah, I saw the
kind
logo,
of,
the Paramount logo at the beginning.
yeah,
that was cool.
I didn't know Paramount was going to get any kind of cred or any kind of
I
spotlight.
wonder how that works. I'll have to look
But,
into it later.
yeah.
But they managed to pull it off. I'm very happy for them. As far as I'm concerned, Lucasfilm is not done because this movie was supposed to destroy them and I don't know. Again, we don't know the box office, but creatively, it doesn't. This movie does not destroy the studio or the company. They pulled it out.
Right.
I'm
So
stoked for them. I was telling Lobo I would see more if they produce more of these films. Okay.
well, that's what I was saying.
This is not a bad
I was
direction.
saying to you earlier that if they took the CGI that they had for the younger Indiana. So I say young Indiana. I got to remember there's a young Indiana Jones
De-aged.
Chronicles
De-aged.
series with a totally different actor.
Yeah. I would say DH.
It's pretty good. Yeah, a de-aged Harrison Ford is.
I don't know if he's going to be willing to do more of those things going forward, but it was a competent film. Who was the director? I feel bad because his name was plastered.
Mangold.
Got it done.
I think. Let's see.
Raiders is the best, and that's always going to be. But they did the franchise justice by making this movie. It didn't feel like they're destroying a corpse or desecrating a corpse or something like that.
Yeah, James Mangold was James Mangold is also he's directing the new Start of the Jedi movie, right? That's the guy who's doing that project. The Jedi.
I haven't been following
Jedi
that,
Origins.
Yeah,
thing?
Ancient Jedi or the First
Yeah.
Jedi. It's called the First Jedi.
The Ten Commandments of the Force or some crap. I'm not.
I mean, based on this, I feel like he can do a competent job.
Oh, Martin, how you doing? Harrison Ford, I think is 82 or something like that. I'm not really sure. 80. Okay. So
Yeah, he's old.
Kate's saying he's 80, so I'm gonna have to go with that. She's probably got a Google in front
I mean,
of her.
there's definitely he definitely did some stunt acting there, but the de-aging looks real enough where I'm not noticing like, oh my God, we're watching 80-year-old Harrison Ford
Yeah.
jumping onto a train or a horse.
Well, yeah, no, it just like they had it down,
And you get to see every mode of transportation for his era, pretty much. That
yeah,
he
they had
does.
trains, horses, motorcycles, airplanes.
If you like chase
Yeah,
movies, you'll like this one because
it's got like 5 chase scenes in it.
and well done. You see where there's all these people who do homages to it, like the Tomb Raider series. There are always all those kind of set piece action things.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of nice to see Indy doing.
Yeah, no,
doing it. Not an homage to it. It's actually, well, it is an homage to the original films, but an Indiana Jones film doing it again.
right. I'm just thinking like back in the day when they used to do the movie tie-in video games, this movie would make an awesome video game. Like there's so many different action sequences to do, you know.
Well, it could have
actually it would probably just be a bunch of QuickTime events, but still it was enough to make you want to participate, make you want to enjoy it. I'm very, very pleased with the everything about this movie. I literally, I'm usually a very what's the right word? I dissect things and I complain a lot. Everybody who knows me in real life will agree with that. I have nothing to complain about with this movie.
I mean, you might think of something
other than we're not going to get another one.
Is that for sure? Or it would be called something else?
Well, it's so like they had some weird plan about doing like a spin-off.
Like a series. I heard something about this. They probably don't want it to overextend themselves.
Well, there were before.
Let's see how this movie
before
does.
the guy who runs Disney again now came back. There was a plan to do like a spin-off series based on ancillary characters from when Indy was younger.
Okay, like another Indiana Jones.
But it wasn't going to be Indiana Jones. It was like kind of what the CW does with they make a Batman project without Batman in it. Like that. Like
it's like Robin's friends from childhood or something.
No, they'll do something stupider like Gotham Knights. Don't watch that show. It's awful.
Never have. But again, having John Williams in there really helped.
Yeah.
That legitimizes the movie.
It felt like an Indiana Jones movie should.
Yeah. They didn't try to go crazy like modern. There was some modern music in it. That was actually an interesting licensing.
Was there?
Choice. Yeah, remember at the beginning?
Oh, yes.
And that's not a cheap license that they used.
That is definitely
that's like Disney money. That's deep pockets licensing music. Because you never get that band. You never get that band.
It's
in your movie. I was like, wow, they went there.
It's it was kind of surprising.
But it was period music.
It was
diegetic for the time.
So this movie takes place in what was
60
when was
something.
When was the moon?
69.
When was Moon Day? It was 19. It was in the
So it was either early 70. I don't know when the parade happened. It was either early 70 or late 69.
Right. So so it was like the Moon Day parade.
Within like 6 months.
So so it was in 25 years after the end of World War II, and so
they jumped.
And everybody was age appropriate, and it just felt good. The Vietnam War was going on at the time because there was anti-war protesters also marching in the street. Apparently, Shia LaBeouf's character from the last movie, Mutt, had he had enlisted in the army, and they talk about how that went for him. And it was great. I have no complaints at all, and that's just, I'm still kind of flabbergasted about that, because I was kind of expecting just a mediocre. I was expecting Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, honestly.
Half-hearted. It really it all hinged on Phoebe Waller, though. If I
Yes.
wasn't gonna buy her as her character,
Right.
then it would have made this movie much harder. But
Right. Yeah.
again,
No. She's.
I think she did a competent job. I know she's done a lot of comedy stuff before, and some people don't like her taste. But in this film, I think she did a competent job, like believable, and you actually cared. Because if you don't care about the characters, then I don't care how good your score is or your special effects. Or that was they got that component right, which was critical. I think. So if they nailed that, everything else kind of just amplifies.
Yeah.
It's better because they chose her as a character to play this character. It's better because the special effects were on point, the sound was on point.
It just
slots right into the franchise. Indiana Jones is back, at least for this one.
Yeah.
I dug it.
Give me more Indy. I want more Indy.
Yeah, I hope we see it like somehow we get to have more films like this, because there's Tomb Raider films and they've been hit or miss, in the past.
I didn't see the most recent remake.
I didn't see the most recent remake.
I've only seen the Angelina Jolie ones.
It jumps around. There's flashbacks and stuff like that. We'll just put it that way without getting too technical.
Oops! I keep reaching for my mouse in its old spot.
It does take place in 1969.
Yeah, 1969.
Mm-hmm.
So,
is one of the periods that it takes place.
Yeah, and it's one of the 3 periods it takes place in. I'll just leave it at that. Little bit of a tease, but
cinematography was good. It's crazy how the special effects have jumped again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So also
it looks pretty real. I mean, there's obviously it's still an action movie.
They have all those
funny things happening.
All those the equivalent of this movie's snake scene. Like that was some great
and believable.
Yes.
Also, you see one of Indy. I forget his name right now. One of Indy's buddies.
Sala.
Yeah, handled well, very well. Like believable for him too.
John Rhys Davies. He's
great.
He's great, but he's definitely looking his age.
Yeah, he's up there, but age appropriate for this film, so that all worked too. Yeah, I mean, him and Harrison have aged together.
I would love an animated series of Indy and Sala. Just doing some, maybe Indy, Sala, and Short Round. That would be amazing.
They handled it in a way that made it funny but not corny. Like these are old pals.
Everybody gives each other crap just a little bit. Certain things are said to discover, oh, you were listening kind of scenarios and things like that. A couple of times. There was a very blatant setup with the after the drop. Well, it doesn't matter.
No,
we'll talk about that off camera. But like I was like, oh, that's gonna matter in a minute.
But bottom line is, I would recommend. I'm gonna tell my brother. My brother's been watching the previous movies. He went through all of them a couple times over the past few weeks. So I saw them on over my shoulder in the. It's an Indiana Jones film on TV. You're gonna watch a few scenes of it.
Exactly.
So coming from that, it kind of freshened my mind to seeing this. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
It wasn't a letdown. There's no huge cliff of quality or.
No, like a lot of movies lately, like the first act is decent, the second act is pretty good, and the third act just kind of falls flat. This was steady.
No, there was
sort of
some hanging
sort
around.
of. Well, no, if you gotta watch this movie, Martin. Let me just pop that on just real quick.
I mean,
what I'm talking about.
We talked about the Moon Day Parade. There would have been no moon landing if it wasn't for some of those folks.
Yeah, there was some government operatives that kind of solidify that comment there. But yeah,
we don't want to spoil it.
But well, I don't know. Were those guys? The woman was, but I don't know about the other 2 guys. The other 2 guys might have just been with the other guy.
They were hired guys,
yeah,
but that's
so I don't know.
Too specific.
They were acting with the government.
No.
But so we've been rambling on for about a half an hour now. So we're just gonna let everybody go.
Go see it.
Go see Indy 5.
Support Lucasfilm on this one.
Even though Kathleen Kennedy worked on this, Steven Spielberg and George Lucas got producer credits. So
that was good to see their names on the screen
them.
again together.
Yes.
Again, when it's bad, you have to speak your mind. In this case, I'm saying like I enjoyed the heck out of it. I would watch it again, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I want to go. I kind of want to go back and see it now in 40x.
Well, you were planning to see it again. He sees movies multiple times anyway. But
I haven't seen a movie multiple times since Force Awakens, actually.
Surprising.
So
really surprising.
So yeah,
I'm gonna tell my bro to see it. I'll tell my cousins to see it. You know.
Yep. But
my grandma, everybody.
Yeah, go tell your friends to see it. It's worth it.
And plus, you're not going to see Lucasfilm on the screen.
Yeah,
for another 3-4 years now, right? Or 3 years?
I think it's like 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
depending on the breaks.
Yeah, depending on the writer's strike, the Screen Actors Guild.
I mean, this
strike
was delayed because
up.
of that horrible thing that happened to the world.
Yes,
you know. So now, like, we're in this other type of thing that's going on. So who knows when we're going to see another Lucasfilm film?
Yeah, it's going to be a minute. So enjoy. Like I said, I'll be going again. So, but with that, we're going to take off. Thanks for joining us. And with that, may the force be with you. And we are out of here.